What's up, guys? We're back in the shop. We just got the toolbox all finished up at the house, and now we are going to be putting this Heim joint in. Me and Mason down there, he's helping me, being my little helper. The track bar joint on this end right here is got a bunch of play in it, and it is just absolutely driving me crazy. Doesn't really affect how it drives or anything, but it's just clunk 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 constantly. So I got this from Rust Stuff. It is a 7/8 by, shoot, what was it? 7/8 by 7/8, I guess, with a misalignment spacer to go to 5/8 or whatever. And it's left-hand thread, so I'm hoping it's right. We'll get this pulled apart, well, lifted up, pulled apart, and get it put on there, and hopefully get rid of some clunking. So you guys can go on a journey with us and watch us do that. Alrighty, we got the truck all lifted up. I have it set. If you guys are ever doing this and you happen to have a rack, you don't have to do it this way. People do it in their driveways or whatever, but it's nice to set the weight on the truck neutral. And what I mean by that is lift this up to where the weight is off the tires just enough, so that way when you take these bolts out, the axle can move freely and the frame is supported. Mainly, you got to make sure the frame is supported, because the axle will move when you take your track bar joints out. So be mindful of that. Remind yourself it's always under pressure. Just safety first on that, because I've had my hands in places I shouldn't before, and that's definitely one place you don't want to be when you take the bolts out. So we're going to get these taken out now, and I'll show you the old joint, the new one, and hopefully they're the same. I'm really worried they're not actually, but don't know until I get it out all the way. So bear with us and we'll get it done. Okay, we've got the old one out, new one here. Take the old one. It just kind of does its thing. It actually doesn't have any, it moves a little, I guess. A lot less than I thought. But everything's right. 14 pitch. This one's nice, tight, good to go. So we're gonna get it jammed back in there, get this jam nut put back on, and call it done. Okay, we got the new joint in, and we are going to tighten the jam nut, and it will be done. Then we're going to do some other adjustments on this thing and get it dialed in a little better so it isn't bottoming out and having clunking issues. Okay, next on the chopping block, pardon the AC is on, so it's not easy to hear, but I just went through and adjusted all of my links. I actually changed my caster in the front. I forgot to set up the camera because I'm a dinghy, but anyways, I did some adjusting to try and help my rear pinion angle, so some driveline noise and angles go away, just to see what it'll do for now. So I lengthened my lower links to kick it back a little and give it a pitch down, and then in the front I actually increased my caster forward to help with my shock angles, so I sucked my rear angles in, my rear links, sorry. So we did that, and now I'm gonna actually, these are no preload whenever they're sitting here, which is great. I am not a shock link specialist by no means, but this truck is already plenty tall. Unfortunately, there's 14s in the front and 16s in the back, but I need to put some more preload on these so that way this thing's not so close to bottoming out. It's constantly hitting on the bump stops, and it is frustrating for sure. So we're gonna get it up a little higher, and then I'm gonna change the bump stop stuff later, but right now it has to stay where it is, so that way when I do happen to bottom out, like on a jump or do something crazy off of a rock, it won't actually collapse and hit my oil pan. So we got to be careful with how much we take out or add, but that's what I'm gonna do now. Okay, my nut is loose, and I'm gonna simply put these down until they have tension all the time. Now, I have a lot of droop in this axle still yet, but it's limited with the straps, which is about right for all the other stuff going on with the sway bar and stuff, so I'm okay with that. But like I said, I have these just to where I get some tension on these springs, and then I'm gonna call it good, because I don't want this thing to be a monster truck. I just want it to hold itself up just a little bit better. So that's what we're doing. So I literally added a whole inch, which is a lot in the shock world, I know, but now there's preload on it, so that's what we're going with. Hopefully this works out. Did the same thing on the driver's side now, tightening that up, and then we're gonna move to the rear. Tight. Now these I've already adjusted. These, when I bought this truck, were almost to the top of the thread pitch, which is weird to me. It had like 3 inches of shot or of thread showing when it was all the way drooped. So long story short, I put preload on these already because the truck actually has a little Cali lean, as they call it, or Florida lean, or Carolina lean, or wherever you're from if you're leaning to the back. But anyways, I do want to raise the back up so it sits more level. So I'm gonna put a good amount of adjustment on this, and we're gonna try that out as well. All right, me and Mason got our shocks all adjusted. We heightened everything a little bit. Hopefully our bottoming out is gone. It's sitting more level, and everything's a little bit more kosher driving down the road, and just happier, all my angles and everything. So let's see how it looks. I'll get it lowered down here and give you guys a little peek at it, and that'll be about the end of the video, so stay tuned. All right guys, well, what do you think? Mason, do you approve?
Yeah.
Yeah? It's still got a little bit of a lean to the back, but I can live with that. I added an almost 2 inches of thread. I adjusted on the rear, and then I did about 1 inch in the front. I did that because this bump stop was literally hitting that pad every time I pulled in or out of anywhere, and I do not have nitrogen or a way to adjust those, I should say, right now. So I just didn't want to mess with it, adjust, or like moving them, I mean. And they're set already for if I bottom out, so my oil pan doesn't get crushed. So we're leaving those where they're at, which is fine. So I opted to go up with the truck, but this is how she looks right now, guys. Next up, we're gonna have to get us some headlights and stuff like that. I got moisture in this passenger one. Got some lights, some rock lights to put under this thing too. I've been waiting to put on, so that'll be coming up soon. I'm not really sure what else I got, honestly, on the books, but we're still waiting on our transfer case, like I said earlier on the other video with the toolbox. So I'm excited for that. That's going to be a big thing, a big fabrication / mechanical thing to put onto the channel that I know people that have these trucks are going to be interested in seeing. So I'm really excited to be bringing that out to you guys. It's going to be a very detailed, much more put together video than you see me doing lately. I've just been doing videos on the fly just to give you guys something to watch, and I do appreciate you guys keeping up with me and subscribing and all that stuff, commenting like I always say. But anyways, this thing's gonna be growing bigger and better, and that will be coming up here hopefully in the next few weeks, so stay tuned for that as well. So as always, guys, appreciate you watching the channel. Like, subscribe, let me know how things are on your end, and as always, I'll see you later.